Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football guys. Wake up here, guys. Wake up. Oh my goodness. What a difference a year makes. Last year at this time, we would have been getting ready for the first real week of preseason where you'd have about, half of the teams playing preseason games tonight. And, well, that ain't happening this year because what a difference a year makes. Now, I don't know if you guys realize this or not. Everybody is going through and, they keep talking about 8-8. Dallas Cowboys, how it was disappointed and disappointing, and how the Cowboys stunk and everything else. I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but the Dallas Cowboys rebuilt this team without the usual rebuilding of a team. I don't think we've quite grasped that concept. In 2014, we were the catch no catch away from the NFC Championship game. We had DeMarco Murray, the Dallas Cowboy rushing, leader for any season and in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. You had the offensive line that was literally probably at its pinnacle there, with Tyron Smith not missing games, with Zach Martin, a young stud, Travis Frederick, Doug Free, in the twilight of his career and stuff, and Ron Leary. That offensive line was a beast. You had Tony Romo having statistically his best season. You had Des Bryant having his career year, the best season of his career. That team is gone. You had Jason Witten, who was still a young pup. Well, not a young pup, but still. That team is gone, and the Dallas Cowboys have completely rebuilt it. 2015 was terrible. But see, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to affect change. That season brought the cornerstone of your franchise. The cornerstones of your franchise: Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott, Jalen Smith. If the Cowboys go on to win a Super Bowl, you have to point back to that draft class being what puts you back on the map. But for the Dallas Cowboys to do what they have done over the course of the last 4 years, I know last year sucked for us. Losing to the Eagles and the Eagles going on to make the playoffs and lose sucked. But that was the impetus that changed everything. It changed the head coach. It changed the philosophy of how we do business, and ended up adding so much to this team. Make no mistake about it. We went through a rebuild that didn't feel like a rebuild because we won 2 division titles. Your worst season was 8-8. When you look at a team like the Washington football franchise, which has been rebuilding, seems like forever. When you look at the Cleveland Doo-Doo Browns, which since their resurrection have been rebuilding every year. When you look at the Denver Broncos, who went to the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, they've been rebuilding and trying to get back up on there. And you see how those guys have been down in the toilet. And without us being, top 10 draft picks and stuff, except for that 2015 season, this team has completely rebuilt. Remember last year at the end of the season, or this year I should say, at the end of the season, when we looked and we said, oh my God, we got all these free agents. We had 26 free agents. The Dallas Cowboys, you can't pay everybody. We're going to be losing people left and right. Byron Jones, you're going to lose him. Robert Quinn. In fact, let's go through and let's look at all of the people. And then on top of it, we had Travis Frederick, who just figured, I was still good, but I'm not the way I used to be. It's time for me to retire. So you look at this and say, you lost Travis Frederick. You lost Byron Jones, right? Arguably your best corner. Robert Quinn, your sack leader last year. Randall Cobb, a guy who resurrected his career, playing in the slot, 800 some yards? Malik Collins, defensive tackle that's been a starter for you when he's, hasn't had the ankle issues for numbers of, 3 years. Jason Witten, a guy who's been there every year except for one since the mid 2006, 2005. Jeff Heath, your starter at safety. Kevon Frazier, special team standout. Cameron Fleming, stand in that's been okay. Xavier Salafalo, who, he stepped in for a few games when you needed him. Cameron Fleming um, stepped in a few games for Tyron Smith, was serviceable. Christian Covington didn't do too much. Daniel Ross didn't do too much. Uh, Donovan, not too much. Michael Bennett, who actually came in and played real well for you. And Austin. Austin got a nice wide open catch there for a touchdown. But you lost all of these guys on this team. But I dare say, right now, when we look at it, this team is loaded right now. And I hate to say that, but because it puts expectations. Right now, you have added 4 Pro Bowl players to your defensive line. Let me say that again. You have added 4 Pro Bowl players to your defensive line. Other than D. Ware, DeMarcus Lawrence, I think maybe Hatcher did that last year he was here. Might have been a Pro Bowler. I'm trying to remember who else has been a Pro Bowler on our defensive line in recent history. I can't look. I mean, Jay Ratcliffe had a couple of good seasons before he became a real rat. But I'm trying to think of who on the defensive line have we had that's been outstanding. And maybe I'm forgetting somebody, but I just can't think of anybody right now. We got 5 guys there right now. Dontari Poe, Pro Bowler. Gerald McCoy, perennial Pro Bowler. Aldon Smith, Alden's been out for 4 years, but the first 2 years of his career was record-setting. Emerson Griffin, perennial Pro Bowler, a guy who last year had 8 sacks. A guy who, in comparison to D-Law, if you take D-Law's last year and the year before, if you take Griffin's year and the year before, I believe, and I may be wrong, but I think there's only like 2 sacks difference. I want to say that D-Law over the course of the last 2 seasons has only maybe 2. It might only be 1.5 sacks more. But I think Emerson Griffin, when it came to quarterback hits and takedowns, knockdowns, I think he was 5th in the NFL. Let me say that again, 5th. So now you add that guy, along with now D-Law having somebody again on the other side, which is going to make him better. But not only that, the thing that's been really, really missing is the defensive line that can actually shut people down, that can put pressure from the middle. This front 7 of the Dallas Cowboys has been completely rebuilt. And the Dallas Cowboys have gone through a rebuilding over the course of the last 5 years without us feeling the typical pain of tearing shit up and starting over. Look at the New York Giants since 2016. 2016, they beat us twice. They went out. They got the $250 million defensive line. 2017 was terrible. 2018 was terrible. 2019 was terrible. And 2020 is going to be terrible. That's a rebuilding that you feel. You have to give credit to the Dallas Cowboys front office. They get cussed out, thrown shade on, belittled. But the talent that they have now put on this field right now, our free agent acquisitions, just think about this. Emerson Griffin, Gerald McCoy, Dontari Poe, backup quarterback in Andy Dalton, Aldon Smith, Clinton Ha Dix, Greg Zuerlein. If you think about where we were with Money Maher, Cameron Irvin, Blake Bell, tight end, Darryl Worley. Those are free agents. The Cowboys went out and said, we are going to use the Eagles and the Rams philosophy that got those guys to the Super Bowl. We're going to get knee deep into free agency. But not only that, you look at the draft class. You got CeeDee Lamb, arguably one of the biggest playmakers out there. The guy that the Eagles are having revisionist history on and basically saying, oh, we didn't really want that guy. Yeah, you wanted that guy. We got Diggs. Diggs is going to be an interesting prospect as far as a cornerback goes. We'll see how it goes. But having a front seven like he's got is going to help out a lot. And the guy I'm most intrigued with is Neville Gilmore. That guy is going to be a beast. You ended up getting a Reggie Robinson. You got Taylor Badass, another big stud offensive lineman, Bradley Ain, and Ben DiNucci. The Dallas Cowboys now have a target on their back, and expectations just rose from last night. Let's see if they can meet those expectations. I don't know about you, but I'm excited. So last night, I was doing a video last night, because it's literally.
Is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Everybody strap in.
Those snakes are Eagle fans. They're Eagle fans, okay? So I was doing a video for, to get back at Eagle Nation, because I'm sick and tired of them, okay? And I just finished it, and so as I was finished it, I was, editing and everything else. So I was putting a couple of clips of stuff in there, and having fun with it. And then the news broke that the Cowboys were signing Emerson Griffin. So I went out and I started doing a live stream. So we ended up having quite a few people, and I appreciate everybody who came in. I saw some people we haven't seen in a while that have said, hey, I've just been hanging low because I wasn't sure if there was a football season and stuff. And I kind of said, you know what? This channel is mostly a football channel. But more than anything else, I like to think of this channel as being a family. And going through what we have been going through, and maybe you haven't had coronavirus, which is great, but, then there's everybody who's underemployed, not employed, that's laid off, people that are hungry. We all need family right now. And this is a place that we can come in, chill for a few minutes, forget about stuff, have a conversation, have a little bit of fun. And it's family. So I'm like, you don't have to, it doesn't have to just be football to be here, because we family. And people were super chatting like crazy. And what we've been doing during our live streams on Monday and Friday nights is we've been giving away glasses, our new beer glasses. And so I said, well, everybody who super chatted, I'll add you to the list. So anybody who super chats, when we do our live streams, I'll probably do one in the workshop today and stuff. We'll add you to the list. We'll do the drawings on Friday nights. But there were so many that came through. It was like, man, you guys are going to help me to get this. There's another camera that I want to get for the set. I've got my original Mevo over here that I've had for about 4 years, and it's having some issues. They have the new Mevo Starts, and I want to kind of replace that one. I've gone through, and I've got this EV microphone. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Actually, I forgot to unplug this. You probably had a little hum in the background. I keep forgetting it grounds out the system. But, I've gone through, and this is a high-quality microphone that hopefully helps me sound a little bit better, a little bit crisper than before. And we've gone through, and we've gotten our stream deck where we can...
Picture if you were a driver of a car, and you had a wreck, and your hand was almost severed off, but you didn't understand your anatomy. You look down, you're spurting blood, you open the door and run to the woods and either die bleeding to death or shock. The educated man looks down, knows his anatomy, squeezes and knows his best chance is to wait for help. That's because he's been there a lot and done that. And so I'm waiting, I'm squeezing and waiting for help.
So, because we were doing so well with it, I figured we need to do something special. We've gotten our Get Philly mask right here. Okay, we're gonna be giving some of those away. We're gonna be giving away draft glasses, and I've had this for 2 years. And in honor of this season and my quarterback, that's my quarterback. Hold up, it's like a cockpit getting out of this thing. This right here, my friends, is a Dak Prescott autographed Power of Four shirt. It's the last one that I have left. And right there, that is Emmett Smith's authentication company. It's authentic by Emmett Smith. So what we're going to do tomorrow night is we're going to give that away during our live stream. So anybody who goes through and does a donation to the channel or a super chat today, tomorrow, during the show and all that, you're going to be entered in the drawing. With everybody who has done a super chat over the course of the last week and a half. So I already have all those names in there. All the ones from last night we'll add to it, and any more that we get today. So I'm excited about giving this a new home and hope that you guys will enjoy it. So we'll see what news that we have. It is so nice to actually have things going on with our Dallas Cowboys and to have news to talk about and being surprised with a great signing for our team. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I got some work to do, and I'm going to be seeing you guys a little bit later. Can't wait to see what the talking heads have to say about the signing.